Welcome, Kiss Army, to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode 19. Today's discussion is all about our dream set list. My name is Xander.
My name's Jeb. Thanks for joining us for another episode. Of course, we have our money bag soda every week.
Absolutely.
As is tradition. To start out, I'd like to start out with some Kiss news that Xander has for us.
So we have been talking about some Kiss news in the past couple of weeks, which is great. We're going to have some fun today and kind of get away from that and talk about more just some fun things. But really quickly, we'll get to some Kiss news. So the first thing that I would, bring up is the fact that Kiss announced that the Kiss Cruise 11 will be the last cruise that they'll be performing on, which I did not expect, although I guess it kind of makes sense. But I'm wondering what that will look like as far as, if it's going to be the last one with Kiss. I don't think it's going to be the last one in general.
Right.
It sounds like there will be more cruises after that.
Yeah.
I would like to... I'm wondering if Kiss will make any appearances on those cruises. I know that even if Kiss isn't performing, I know that Gene has done his Axe-based events and Paul has done special private events and different things. So I'm wondering if even if the band isn't going to be performing on the cruise in makeup in a traditional fashion, if they'll still be involved. It would make sense that way.
Yes.
It is a Kiss cruise. But of course, that I thought was interesting when they announced that. Hopefully, maybe this will be the one that we actually get to go on.
I hope so.
Because if it's the last one with Kiss, I mean, we
kind of have to.
We've tried, multiple times in the last decade to get out on the Kiss cruise, but it's never worked out. So maybe this will be the one where it gives us the push that we need to get on the cruise. I think that, I predict they'll still do like meet and greets and things like that. I think that's going to be the selling point, honestly, is the band.
Yeah.
If they're not going to perform, they still need to at least, I guess, be there in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. If not, I mean, it just seems like it would, I guess, be like an extended Kiss Expo, which would be fantastic. I'm sure it'd still be great, but that, I think, was interesting. Of course, the next thing on the topic is the tour. End of the road tour. We keep talking about what's going to happen as far as cancellations, rescheduling, and we did an episode 2 episodes ago talking about the scope of the tour, and that was, of course, before Australia got canceled.
Yeah.
I know that Tommy has posted saying that the European tour is going to continue, or at least on Instagram had made a mention of that. I don't know if it's going to happen now that there's issues in Ukraine. I don't know if that's going to
good point.
Affect the tour, but just it's all up in the air. You never know.
Really,
the next stop is South America, and I think that's on. I think it's in April. They'll be in South America, and again, seems like they're just going to go full steam ahead with that. We'll see. Peter Criss actually was announced to be he'll be performing at the Creatures Fest.
Is he performing or is he just making an appearance?
Either way, he'll making an appearance.
I've heard mixed things about who is and who isn't performing, and who's just going to be there to make an appearance.
I was under the impression that he was going to be performing, although I understand that he did kind of maybe unofficially retire from performances a few years ago. But either way, just the fact that Peter's involved is great.
Oh, it's great, yeah.
That seems to be...
It's a huge lineup already.
That seems to be, I think everybody's keeping their eyes on that event to see how it goes and what's going to happen. Because, you have Bruce involved, you have Vinny... Yeah. You have Ace, you have Peter. That's and other bands too. I think you have Quiet Riot and some other bands and other artists. But that's just really something. That's something cool. Yeah. Again, I hope Peter is able to come to the Fanboy Expo if they ever reschedule the Fanboy Expo here in Indiana.
Exactly.
That would be super cool. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the Kiss news that I had. Just real quickly, get that out of the way. Let's read some comments that we had coming in the last couple episodes. Thank you guys for everybody who's commenting and joining in the discussion. That's so awesome. We love hearing what you guys have to say. So Jeb, did you want to read?
Yeah, I'll read a short one here.
A few comments.
Just from this is from episode 17 from Ken Mills, which might sound familiar to some of you. It says, Ken from the Podcast here, fun show, and I shared it on the Podcast Facebook page, which is amazing. So thank you very much to Ken Mills for sharing our podcast and getting our voices out there. I thought that was really cool.
Yes, podcast is one of the longest running Kiss podcasts out there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Ken, for giving us a shout out. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
Was there anything else you want to read on episode 17?
Other than, got a couple other ones just saying, cool podcast. Someone said it's their favorite podcast, which is amazing.
Wow.
That kind of surprises me, but I'm glad to hear it. And
thank you.
Of course, we have the Kiss Army Nation podcast showing us some support there.
Absolutely. Pasquale Claudio. Hey, we're actually going to be on...
Yes.
Yeah, so if you check out Kiss Army Nation podcast, because I think coming in March, Jeb and I are actually going to be guests on that show with hosts Claudio and Pasquale.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of Kiss Army Things podcast, be sure to watch the Kiss Army Nation podcast.
Yeah, and stay tuned.
And stay tuned because we're going to be guests on their show. So thank you to Pask and Claudio for your guys' support. And then as far as episode 18 goes, which was the first album, we were talking about the 48th anniversary of the first album. And I was really glad to see all the comments from 70s Kiss fans. Of course, Pasquale from Kiss Army Nation. Yeah. We had Henry saying, great show, guys. Been a fan since 76. My first exposure to Kiss was Destroyer. Changed my life. It wasn't until a year or so after that I went back into their catalog and listened to Alive and got exposed to the first three. Tony says, wow, such great memories. I remember going to my local record store, asking my mom to buy this album for me right after seeing the Gene Simmons interview and Kiss perform Firehouse on a Mike Douglas show. Nice. So that's like some OG, stuff right there. Yes. You have Steve who says, 11 thumbs up for me, and I haven't even watched it yet. My favorite Kiss album, and I can never understand why people like any other albums more. Deuce, Strutter, Black Diamond, 100,000 Years, Firehouse, Let Me Know, Nothing to Lose. It's anthem after ass-pounding anthem.
Wow.
Blue Kool-Aid Drinker, peace out from the tip of, Canada, Kiss Army Canada.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you to everybody. Be sure to subscribe for more episodes and be sure to join in the conversation with us. So we will dive into the Kiss Spotlight real quick because that's something we want to do in the beginning of every episode where we just kind of spotlight a CD or an album, some piece of Kiss media that we've been digging into the last couple weeks. So
absolutely. Do
you want to start off with that? What have you been digging into?
I'd love to. So my Kiss Spotlight is on the last two Studio Kiss albums, of course, talking about Sonic Boom and Monster.
For sure.
Frankly, and I'm not happy to, I'm a little ashamed to say it, but those two albums don't come up into rotation as often as I now think they should be, especially Sonic Boom. And it's going to sound bad, but prior to last week, I don't know the last time that I listened to Sonic Boom all the way through.
Okay.
It probably had been years.
Wow.
And I don't know. I've tried to analyze why. Why not listen to Sonic Boom more often? And because I obviously go back and listen to Modern Day Delilah fairly consistently because it's a brilliant song.
I love that song.
But the other day I thought, well, it's been a while. I'll just listen to it all at once, and I loved it. It almost felt like the first time hearing it. For some reason, before that, I felt it was. I'm not sure what the right word is, but I just didn't appreciate it nearly as much as Monster, which I love.
Okay.
And then now I'm sort of hearing the similarities in the two albums. They kind of go together in a way, but I always kind of viewed it as kind of corny almost, and less than, which. What does that mean for a Kiss album? They're all kind of
they're all borderline on the corny side,
right?
Right.
And so I just listened to it from front to back, Sonic Boom, and absolutely loved it. And that's going to be in my rotation probably, from now on. And Monster is fairly frequently listened to. I love that album.
Yeah.
So for me, it's representing the current lineup a little more than I feel like I should. So.
That's awesome.
Or not more than I think I should, but more than I think I should have before. So
for sure. That's really cool. I'm glad you said that. Maybe in the future we'll have to do an episode on Monster versus Sonic Boom, and not necessarily trying to pin one against the other,
right.
But just talking about maybe how we felt about the album when it came out versus the album now.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it doesn't come up in rotation for you, Sonic Boom, but now that you hear it, you're like, why am I not hearing this album more? That's cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. Actually, it's funny, I will mention this. I was listening to, I think, Kiss 40. I listen to Kiss 40 a lot.
Nice.
And every single time Modern Day Delilah comes on, every single time it's like the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's awesome.
It's a really good song, and for some reason, every time I hear it, it's just Tommy's riff, Eric's drum beat, Paul's powerful vocals, you have good group vocals. Yeah. Tommy's solo is absolutely ripping.
It's one of the best solos in history.
One of my favorite Kiss solos in the whole catalog.
Yeah.
Just everything about that song is just pure heat to me.
Perfect.
And so I agree. Good album, good song. For me, I'm actually going to go a different route because we've been talking about albums for the Kiss Spotlight in the last few weeks. I'm actually going to choose a video/concert.
Cool.
And I'm choosing the East Rutherford, New Jersey show.
Absolutely.
From June 27th, 2000. Because that is my all-time favorite Kiss show.
Yep.
Or, it definitely ranks high as one of my favorite Kiss shows to watch.
Yeah.
That was the first concert we ever watched.
Yep.
I remember watching the pay-per-view. That was one of our first, real exposures to Kiss.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wasn't too thrilled with the fact that they were on a farewell tour,
right.
but I was very thrilled with that show. And it's one that I pretty much revisit. I mean, I will watch something from that show monthly.
Yeah.
Multiple times, whether it's the DVD on Kissology or just a clip on YouTube or something, because I think when people talk about the magic of the original four, we weren't there in the 70s when that happened. So for me, that show is the magic.
Yes.
And I watch it, and I still think it's some of the best footage and some of the best stuff for me to watch. It's my favorite.
It is excellent. I love watching that.
So I'll spotlight that. That's always been a fun one.
For sure.
But today's episode is talking about our dream set list.
Right.
Basically, if Gina Paul came to you tomorrow and said, "Hey, look, we're doing a show next week. we don't know what to play. Whatever you say goes, do it."
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do today, and just have some fun talking about our favorite set list.
And what Kiss fan hasn't thought about what they think of the set list should be. It's kind of a debate going on continuously.
With over 200 songs, I mean, there's an infinite amount of set lists that you could come up with.
Yes.
And so as we're going back and forth with our set list, everybody out there watching, listening, be thinking of what you would want in your dream set list. Share that with us.
Drop your set list down below.
Yeah, I was going to say, either your full set list in the comments below. If you don't want to do that, maybe just a song or two that you think should be in the set list that isn't. Because again, there's so many songs in the Kiss catalog, so we'll just go through our set list, and we'll call it the Dream Tour. Kiss is going on the Dream Tour. What's your dream set list?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I think I'll start. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
For sure. We'll run through mine. We'll run through yours, and then we'll go back through and we'll kind of talk about why we chose those songs and just kind of dig through it a little bit deeper. But I'll start, and I chose a 20-song set list because I felt like, they're playing roughly 20 songs on the End of the Road tour. Yeah. I'm going to go with a 20-song set list. It seems if it's realistic on this tour, it's realistic on the Dream Tour.
Sure.
So if I was to give my dream set list, or at least the start of my dream show, honestly, it would have to be Detroit Rock City. I know that's not very, unique.
Wow, real original.
No, real original. I know. Well, I mean, it's like you have a choice of Deuce, Detroit Rock City.
I didn't think that was going to be your opening song.
There are Marty Delilah and couple other ones. King of Nighttime World's been an opener in the past.
Yeah.
There's plenty of openers, but I do think that if I was to go to it, if I had full control of the Kiss set list, I would probably I would still put Detroit Rock City and Deuce as the first two songs. Deuce and Shout Out Loud tend to compete for the second and third song of the set list.
Traditionally.
My first two, I'm playing it safe. I'm keeping them Detroit Rock City and Deuce. Because from a show...
Detroit Rock City and then Deuce?
And then Deuce, yes. I'm keeping that the same.
Interesting.
Because I feel like from a show standpoint, again, it's a show. So if I'm going to see my dream show, I want to see them open the set with Detroit Rock City, with what they're doing with the meteor shower on this End of the Road tour after the song is fantastic. Yeah. There's tons of pyro to go along with it. Mm-hmm. Of course, Deuce has the back and forth sway at the end, Those are things that are just kind of key. I guess that is a key thing for a Kiss show.
I'm sweating over here.
Jeb's like,
it's going to be interesting hearing each of our set lists over here because now I'm starting to think of things that I didn't.
Jeb's like, I think Xander is he's overthinking it a little too much.
Well, no, not overthinking. It's getting me to think about things that I didn't, and that's what makes it interesting. And so afterwards, it's going to be interesting going back and saying, well, that's a good point. Maybe I didn't think of that. Or maybe that's not relevant, or this and that. So your first two are interesting in a way, even though they're very traditional. But I'm excited to hear the rest.
Well, I'll say number 3 is "Creatures of the Night." So let's add some heat to the set list. "Creatures of the Night" is a song that I wouldn't say it's one that casual fans will be able to recognize, but it's still a song that I think
it's a top tier song.
When you put it in the live set list, it works so well because of things like the solo. I mean, you have double bass drumming. You have it's heat, it's energy, and Kiss songs. I think Kiss is a band that when you see them live, they're very energetic. Yeah. They move around, lots of lights, lots of spectacle. So you need songs that accompany that.
Sure.
And Creatures, when they put it on Kiss Rocks Vegas, I was like, yes.
That was amazing.
That is the correct decision.
Yes.
I was like, that is a song that... Same with the next song, Parasite.
Yeah.
I put Parasite as the 4th song on this set list because, again, it's a song that, killer riff,
Yes.
every member showcase, and that's going to be a theme throughout my set list is, what are all the songs that are going to cause Kiss's hands to hurt the most? What's going to cause Kiss
good point,
to put the most in it?
All your songs so far have been rather up-tempo.
Oh, it's going to get even more up-tempo. We're not going to stop.
They're sweating on stage right now trying to keep up.
I'm going to make Kiss work for it. If this is, but also I'm thinking about the crowd. What's going to get the crowd? I understand that songs
Their
like...
downtime.
Yeah. These are the songs that if I was to go to see a Kiss show, that these were the ones that would get me on my feet the most, get me pumping my fist, and the ones that bring out the best in the band.
Yes.
So far we have Detroit Rock City, Deuce, Creatures, Parasite. Next, Modern Day Delilah. Again, same reason. It's a creative riff.
Yep.
I think that even though it is a current era song, and that sometimes those songs are the ones that they get the least reception out of the band. Yeah. I think,
but it's a dream set list. It's
a dream set list, and I mean, again, I still think that even though I like Say Yeah and I enjoy Say Yeah, I'm glad it's in the set list, the End of the Road set list. I think that if we're gonna put a current song in, a current Paul Stanley song, a current Kiss song, or a song that came out from the Tommy and Eric lineup, I'm going with this one because I feel like Hello Hallelujah was great. It was on Kiss Rocks Vegas. It got its due. Yeah. So yeah, it's been for several tours. I want to hear Modern Day Delilah come back. I thought I was, when that single came out, I mean, that gave me high hopes for the album, and it's a fond memory that I have. Yeah. So I want to hear Modern Day Delilah, and then next, after that, I would put War Machine.
Nice. Okay.
And this is the point in the show where Gene's going to breathe fire. Yeah. War Machine's been that song in the set list for, I think, 10 years now. It was the tour when they brought War Machine back.
Yep.
And
which was amazing.
I don't think he was breathing fire on War Machine on the tour. I think that was still Firehouse, but nonetheless, that's the song from my set list where Gene will breathe fire. Next, after War Machine, Psycho Circus. Okay. Psycho Circus is one of my top 10 favorite Kiss songs, and the fact that they brought that song back into live set list in the last 10 years, again, was the right decision. Yeah. I know some of these songs so far in my set list, Detroit Rock City and Deuce, War Machine, and there's songs that you're already hearing in the current set list, but I think there is a reason. Yeah. Psycho Circus just goes over so well live as a great solo. That middle section musically is fantastic. I've been waiting for this. It's just
very dramatic.
It's very dramatic, and it gives you that build up for the big pyro moment, and it's got a really good solid outro. So that's the song that I want to hear. Yeah. And after here we go. After Psycho Circus, my song choice is Watching You. Watching You is a song that I understand, it wasn't a single. I don't think it wasn't a hit. It, didn't do anything for the band. But as far as the songs that I want to hear live, that's one of them. And again, it goes right back to that riff, that drum beat. Yeah. Again, it's about the songs for me. And these, for me, are the songs that bring out the best in Kiss. Watching You is a killer song. I love it when, Gene and Paul will do, trading back lead or dual lead vocals. Right. It's a fantastic song musically. Lick It Up is the one that I would have next. Yeah. Lick It Up is a song that I think some fans might consider to be one of the ones that are stale.
I could never think that.
Not for me. No. For me, Lick It Up.
It's one of my guilty pleasure Kiss songs.
I was going to say, Lick It Up for me is, I think, a top 5. I think all of my top 5 favorite... Wow, actually, all but one of my top 5 favorite Kiss songs make it in this list. It's amazing. Heaven's on Fire being the one that did not make it. Okay. Which is surprising, but whatever.
I'm very surprised you didn't put that in the...
Yeah, well, I am too, actually. But Lick It Up, I have to keep in the set list. Yeah. Because it's a great song. Yeah. What else am I going to say? Yeah. I don't know. But I will say that She is the one that I'm including next. Okay. Because She has always been a song that I think that Kiss should bring back in the set list. Yes. It's, again, that riff.
Yeah, that's the way the song makes you feel.
They have the solo at the end, or the Kiss Coda, that special Kiss jam that was played. I want to hear that come back in the set list. I wonder why they don't play that anymore. I guess maybe it would take up too much time in the set list, but I always thought that jam was really, really cool. But I guess this would also, if they didn't play that, this would also be the part in the show where Tommy would do his solo, I guess, and shoot rockets. But
absolutely.
I'm keeping God of Thunder as the song for the bass solo. Yeah. I had debated on putting Unholy in that spot because we know in the Hot in the Shade, or the, excuse me, Rock the Nation, On the Rock the Nation tour, Unholy was the song that Gene did his blood speeding, his bass solo, and then he flew.
But you're keeping God of Thunder in.
I'm keeping God of Thunder because I'm also including the drum solo.
Okay.
And when I thought about breaking up Unholy to put a drum solo in between and then coming back into Unholy after the drum solo, it just didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. I felt like, theatrically speaking and from a show standpoint, it makes more sense to have God of Thunder be that song because God of Thunder really evokes that theatrical sort of aspect of it. Putting in Eric Singer's drum solo is more for the show. Mm-hmm. I did not want to break up Unholy in that regard, so I kept Unholy. I added that spot. Mm-hmm. Cold Gin is the song I put next. Cold Gin is a song that you could also argue has been in the set a while and could be one that could be taken out. I just can't take it out because Cold Gin, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but Cold Gin is one of the ones I want to mosh to.
Oh, wow.
For some reason, it's not a heavy song, but for some reason when I hear it live...
It can be heavy.
It can come across really heavy, and it has a certain energy to it where that riff will just get me going.
Yeah.
And every time they don't play Cold Gin, a part of me is just like, oh, what could have been?
Need to hear Cold Gin.
Yeah, if I could have heard Cold Gin, I could have just felt a little better. But yeah, so Cold Gin is not getting away from being out of my set list. The next one might come as a surprise to some people, but I have been, like I said, playing it kind of safe. Just thinking about the songs that I would want to hear during my dream set list. But one that I would want to include is Out of This World by Tommy from Monster.
Nice.
Shock Me is great. And I think that Tommy has done a really good job playing Shock Me, and it doesn't insult me when I hear Tommy play Shock Me. It is a great Spaceman song. Yeah. But I always thought that Out of This World was actually one of the stronger songs from Monster.
Oh, I think so.
And I thought Tommy did a really, really good job on that song. And it didn't make too much sense to me when they, on the Monster Tour, played half of Shock Me and half of Out of This World.
Yeah. That was strange.
I thought it was cool that they tried it.
Yeah.
It's not something you would expect Kiss to do.
No. And
it definitely disproves the fact that Kiss is boring live. They are doing different things. I mean, we saw on this last tour, remember when they played, what was it? They played the first half of, what was it, Psycho Circus, and then came back in 100,000 Years, or what was that?
I think they split up.
They split up Psycho Circus.
Well, I think they did the drum solo.
Yeah. They split up Psycho Circus and then did the drum solo and then came back into 100,000 Years.
Yeah.
And that was kind of odd.
That was strange, yeah. But because we had seen them earlier on that tour and they weren't doing that.
Right. And then
that was the last show that we saw.
Yeah. 4 out of the 5 shows we've seen on this tour, they did not do that. And then that was one that they did. So that was like, okay, I mean, it's...
You're changing it. Yeah.
However you feel about it, it's a change. And it's something that they're trying. And when they did that in 2013 with Out of This World and Shock Me, I was like, okay. I mean, it's 2 great Spaceman songs that you're mashing into one, but I would rather hear the whole thing to Out of This World. Yeah. I think Tommy did a great song. So I would add one more current era Kiss song, and that one would be it.
Nice.
The next song after that, Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Just
Absolutely.
Straight heat, speed,
amazing,
killer rock. Those lyrics mean nothing, but that music means everything.
Well, it goes over so well.
It goes over so well. It's such a. They played it. I think we saw it at least once or twice on this End of the Road tour, and that's what I wanted. Hadn't seen it since Hottest Show on Earth tour.
Right, back in 2010.
But that song is just it. It makes you want to fist bump, makes you want to headbang. Mm-hmm. Again, those lyrics mean nothing, but the music means everything. Yeah. The next song for me would be Love Gun, Paul Will Fly.
Keeping Love Gun, okay.
Keeping Love Gun. I just think it's one of those songs that you kind of have to have. And there are plenty of songs in Kiss Setlist today that I did remove. We'll get to that. Yeah. But think about the ones that I just kind of wanted to keep. Yeah. In my set list, Love Gun was the one. But now here we go. Here's a little switch up because once Paul's out there on that stage, before he comes back, I want to hear "Come On and Love Me."
Okay.
I think "Come On and Love Me" is a great Kiss song. Yep. I haven't really seen it in the set list since I don't know, maybe Alive 35. But then again, they played it on the.
They played it on that. Was it the
Mending Kids International? Was
it that or was it the? Didn't they play some kind of show for that John Varvatos? Suit thing. I might be getting those two mixed up.
You're correct.
I think they may have played it on both.
Damn, good on you for remembering that. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, okay, so they did play.
So they had the current lineup is somewhat familiar with. They probably played it on the cruise at some point, maybe.
Yeah. They did it on the Live 35, and they did it on the John Varvatos Suit private show, and they played it on the Mending Kids International on Valentine's Day, February 2014. Yeah. For that charity event. But it's not one that has really made it into the set list for the majority of the current lineups running.
No.
But it's a song that I did mention this in the last episode, talking about Dress to Kill, talking about Come On Love Me, and how that should have been a much bigger hit for the band. That should be a classic Kiss song.
To me, it is.
I mean, it is, absolutely, but I think it should have been a much bigger song for the band. Same. But Come On Love Me is definitely in my dream set list. I think that it would go over so well live. Paul flies back to the stage for Black Diamond, which will finish out the main set. I didn't really give Eric any songs to sing, but Black Diamond's always such a great song, both for the show and for Eric, so I'm going to leave Black Diamond in the set list as the last song of the main set. When we come back from the encore, I'm going to open up the encore with Unholy.
Wow.
I mentioned Unholy earlier. I had to put Unholy in the set list. And so, you know what? We're going to put it, not Beth. I don't want to hear Beth after
the other direction.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other direction and put in Unholy. Unholy is a heavy song.
That surprises me.
And it's a heavy song. Again, I'm putting a lot of the ones that are more upbeat, more up-tempo, the heavier songs. You got Creatures, you got Parasite, War Machine,
Rock and Roll.
Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Those are the songs I want in my set list. Unholy, we know the current lineup can do it. They did it. They can do anything almost, it seems, but they did it on Rock the Nation. Sure. So I know they can do it. I think that if you were to have Unholy at that point, at the very end, it would just bring so much excitement to the 90s Kiss fans, the diehards, the ones who are fans of Bruce's era or Eric and Bruce's era. Unholy is great. Crazy Nights is the one I'm going to keep as the second to last, because I'll never forget. In 2010, I don't think it was the encore in 2010, but they played it in 2010 on the Hottest Show on Earth tour, and it absolutely blew my mind.
I remember, yes.
I was not expecting that.
That and Shock Me. They played Shock Me then, right?
Yes.
Both of those blew my mind when we saw them in 2010.
I was freaking out when they played Crash. I was like, when was the last time this song was played? And they did bring it back on this End of the Road tour set list. I think it works great. I love the fact that it's 80s representation, so I'm keeping it. When they added that little breakdown towards the end of the song.
Yeah.
That to me just makes the song even better. Yeah. It works really well live. I'm thinking about it from a show aspect. So I think that Unholy, a good unmasked 90s Kiss song. Crazy Nights, a good unmasked 80s Kiss song. And then of course the last song for my set list will be Rock and Roll All Night. I'm not gonna mess with that. I like it. So overall, I mean, my set list is pretty safe. I did take some liberties here and there.
A little bit. Still doable.
We'll discuss it more in depth after we hear yours. I want to hear yours, and I want to see just how different / the same it is, and kind of what your thoughts are. So
absolutely, yeah. I was gonna say I definitely was surprised with some of yours. Interested to see how mine will be received. So for my opening song, I Stole Your Love.
Perfect.
Perfect. Totally kind of out there, but not too far out there. I wanted something that wasn't... I definitely thought about Deuce, and I definitely thought about Detroit Rock City, but I feel like, for me, it's just been done so many times, and while it works perfectly, I Stole Your Love is absolutely classic. And it's still, it's a bombastic, upbeat opener for the album of Love Gun. It's the same way for a show. Of course, they did that in their late 70s. Hot in the Shade tour, they busted it out, opened the show, everyone loved it, and I'm like, that to me would be a special opener.
It's very special
for me. So I Stole Your Love, going right into Come On and Love Me. One of our commonalities. I was happy to see that it made its way into yours. And for me, I'm not sure if it was as strategic as yours as far as, it's still upbeat and it keeps the momentum going there.
Sure.
But for me, it's in there only because it's a perfect Kiss song. And it's short and sweet. It doesn't take up too much time. I feel like that would go over well in their current set list. I think they should put that in those set lists.
Me too.
That should always be there.
Yeah, me too.
I think everyone would love Come On, Love Me. Then I'm going into Cold Gin. So I know that a lot of 70s going on here. But I knew I wanted to have Cold Gin in there, much for the same reasons as you did. So I kind of stuck it earlier in the set list after two that were, sort of untraditional. I wanted to keep that, classic first album, stuff going with Cold Gin. Then I'm going into Lick It Up. Going right into the 80s. Again, you pretty much said it. It's a phenomenal, Kiss song. For me, it's one of the most fun to sing along to live. It's one of the most fun Kiss songs you could experience live, and that's why, if it weren't for having seen it live so many times and never getting sick of it, I wouldn't have put it in. So Look It Up to Me, again, that's one that we have in common. Definitely belongs in the set. Now, going back to the 70s, we're going with She, another one that we had in common. It's hard to say why, other than it's one of my favorite Kiss songs. I think the way it grooves is so unique. It's
vocals,
not
powerful vocals.
I was gonna say and the harmonies are excellent, and the guitar is awesome. Everything about the song is fantastic, but it kind of brings a different. It's not a fast song or a slow song. It's just got its own groove.
Oh yeah, it's
and
one
I feel
that
like
you can still
live,
you can still vibe to it.
Yeah, I'd say it's just one of those that moves you different from other Kiss songs. And I think that would be interesting to give it some dynamic in there.
Got that killer bass too. That
Oh, absolutely. Yes, and then we're going into War Machine.
Nice.
With, of course, Gene Breathing Fire on War Machine.
Absolutely.
They've had that in the set for quite a while now.
10 years.
Or
10 years this year.
About 10 years this year, and every time I've seen it, again, it's super heavy, so I think it appeals to that side of the audience.
Yep.
But again, it's my dream Setlists, so I have to love it. And I was like, well, I definitely want some representation from Creatures. And, I'll have to go through and can't remember if I had anything else, but I definitely wanted something heavier on there. And it's a great Gene song. Pairs really well with the fire breathing. It all comes together so well.
I agree.
The next is Tears Are Falling.
Nice. Okay.
Definitely, for me it was really difficult choosing which 80s songs I would put in, because I definitely wanted some from that era. I thought, Heaven's on Fire you can't go wrong with. But I pretty much am using this as a substitute because I've heard them play it live, somewhat recently.
Yeah.
And for me, it's something special. Absolutely love the way the current lineup does Tears Are Falling.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And Heaven's on Fire has been one that's been played almost to death, I feel like.
Really?
Well, not so much lately, but it's always been one that I guess it's been played quite a bit. I love that song, but I subbed it for Tears Are Falling.
Sure.
It feels a little more special. Then I'm going into Watching You, which is one that we had in common.
Yeah, we both like that song.
I love Watching You. It's that, it's really the riff. I think, Eric's drumming suits the song so well. I know the current lineup would just tear that song up. And the crowd would absolutely love it.
I think it was on the Kiss Cruise either last year or the year before, and I'm just like, damn it, move it into the main set.
I know, I was like...
Move it into the main set.
Who at a Kiss show would hear that and not be totally into it?
I know, I'm like, all the casuals were going, wait, what's this song? This song's that song's bumping.
Yeah, turn that one up.
Turn it up, yeah, exactly.
So I think that would be like an unexpected crowd pleaser,
Yeah.
The crowd's like, oh, I'm going to have to figure out what album that's on and buy that, or so. I just feel like that would be a one that other fans as well as me, because it's one of the best Kiss songs. But of course I am, and we both are, considering other factors. It's not just ours. It's a dream set list, but it's not just that. It has to work.
Yeah.
I feel like that one, it's out of left field, but it works both ways. Now the next one is Shock Me. I absolutely adore Shock Me. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs. I think it's maybe the best Spaceman song there is, and so I definitely want to give Tommy Thayer, a little bit of spotlight, while also, paying, homage to Ace in a way. Sure. I feel like it seems sort of fitting. That song, to me, always seems to go over pretty well live, and it's just such a great live song. Mm-hmm. I love Shock Me. So after that, going into Psycho Circus.
Nice.
Definitely had to have Psycho Circus. It's one of the best Kiss songs, period. Works incredibly well live. Paul Stanley kills it every time. I love the drama of it, the way, the way they draw it out.
Eric's drumming,
yeah, it's absolutely excellent.
Yeah. The way he plays that song now is really good.
And I think a song like that is important to a set list for Kiss because of, again, how dynamic that song is. It just moves different than other Kiss songs. It kind of breaks up everything and, draws it out more and takes you on a bit of a journey. And like Psycho Circus definitely belongs in the set list. Now my next one might be the most out there one.
Cool. I'm ready.
It's off of Monster.
Off of Monster. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, can you guess which song off? We'll do a.
Can I guess?
Guess one.
Guess one song off Monster that you would put in your set list.
I put in my set list.
Damn. I mean, I think I might know, but then there's this other song that might, I think, also kind of. I don't know. I will take the most random shot in the dark.
for
And
it.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Long way down.
No,
No.
it is not.
I knew it.
Although that's one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song.
Is it Take Me Down Below?
No.
Okay, I was
It's
wrong.
Wall of Sound.
Damn, I love Wall of Sound.
That song is phenomenal.
That song is so great. They added it. It was in the set list for a minute.
Really?
A hot minute.
I
So
missed
Monster
that.
was released in, I think, October. And then in November, they were in South America. And they
about right.
played that song on the Kiss Cruise. I think the Kiss Cruise that year. They played it in South America. Mm-hmm. And it was in the set list for a brief hot minute. And I agree with you. Great song.
You know, I wanted to have, you know, representation of the current lineup.
Sorry, yeah.
I wanted to pick a song from either Sonic Boom or Monster, and I didn't want to choose a Paul song because I really struggled with putting enough Gene songs in there.
Yeah.
There were so many Paul songs. I just wanted to put Paul's Stanley song after Paul's Stanley song, and I was like, well, let's pick a Gene song that's from the current lineup. And I listened to Monster, and Wall of Sound is a phenomenal demon, you know, Gene Simmons song. It's so upbeat. The riff is great. It's got great energy.
There's a good Eric drum beat or drum break in there too.
Oh gosh, everything about the song is absolutely
Lyrically,
killer.
visually, yeah.
And I don't know how that would, you know, go over live. I would imagine that, you know, people are going to be a little less responsive to it because it's so high energy. I feel like people would still.
But it's your set list.
It's my set list, and Wall of Sound is going in.
I like that. That's a good one.
Next one is 100,000 Years.
I knew it. I knew
Tied.
it had to be in the list.
It's one of my all-time top favorite Kiss songs. We're doing Eric's drum solo, a live style.
Perfect.
You know, as a kind of a throwback, paying homage to there, but also it just drum solo goes incredibly well with 100,000 Years. Mm-hmm. I love everything about it. I'm not sure if I need to say any more. Couldn't be happier that I got to see it live.
Bass licks are on fire.
Yes,
Solo, great.
every member is just killing it on that
Paul
song.
Stanley's stage raps.
Absolutely.
Let's do it, yeah.
And so one after that is, let me see, I'm going to look at, okay. Next one is Modern Day Delilah. So I'm getting representation from both. I wanted Sonic Boom and Monster to be represented.
I like how we're
here.
both including
yeah.
Modern Delilah. That's a great song.
And only reason is because it's one of the best Kiss songs.
Yeah.
It's got, and it would just works live. I mean, that's what great songs do.
I mean, again, great. Tommy's riff and Eric's bouncy drum beat. I mean, they work well together.
Yes.
I think Paul kills it.
Yeah, I was like, it's just a fantastic song.
Good group vocals.
Yes. Moving into the bass solo / Unholy with the blood spitting.
Okay.
For me, it's
You're doing Unholy?
God of Thunder out. Unholy is in its place totally all the way for me.
Uh-huh.
I don't have anything really against God of Thunder, but it's not one of my favorite Kiss songs. I love when I see it live, but Unholy, that's maybe my actual favorite Kiss song. You know, they did it on Rock the Nation. Just it's amazing.
We know it can be done.
Pairing.
Yeah, we know it can be done.
It has been done. It's gone over well. For me, that is my Gene Simmons blood spitting song.
Sure.
Now, this part was really tough for me when Paul flies out to the second stage.
Okay.
No Love Gun.
No Love Gun.
So obviously that's traditionally been the song he would do it on. For me, it's Strutter. I needed Strutter. I tried so hard to work Strutter in this set list somewhere.
I like that.
Tried really hard to get Strutter because they just never play it. They just never play Strutter, and it's one of the best Kiss songs ever. It's great live. It's a total classic. First song off the first record, has great energy. You can't go wrong, and I feel like that would just be really cool to see him play Strutter out on the other stage.
So you're thinking that he says,
I'm coming out there to see ya! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Yeah, and he
flies out there?
and
That
he
could be
flies
cool.
out. I was like, I'm not sure exactly how it would look. It seems to make sense in my head, but it's my dream set list. Let's just run with it.
I love it.
So for me, it works. Strutter, and while he's out there, he's gonna. Oh wow! I actually did put Heavens on Fire in there. I thought I took it out.
Okay.
So I'm surprised. So I'll say this: I made this sort of quickly. Didn't try to overthink any of it.
Yeah.
Went with my gut feeling for the most of it. Didn't want to overcomplicate it. So I guess I felt like Heavens on Fire does belong in there because I don't know. It's a fantastic song.
It really is.
Great live song. I mean,
It's got a good breakdown, and those breakdowns work well live when you're chanting.
it works well live. I feel like that would be cool to see Paul do it on the other stage. Make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves that. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm with you on
I
that.
can't believe I forgot that I actually had that in there. But
Your set list is shaping up to be pretty awesome.
it's good. For me, it's amazing. But
It is.
so after that, we're going to Black Diamond.
Nice.
And I was debating on whether I was going to actually have this one in there, because it's been in every Kiss set list for who knows how long now.
Right.
Of course, going back, listening to the song, realizing how awesome it really is. Also, I had to get Eric on at least one song where he sings, because a part of Kiss is having each member sing. I was like, well, that song, we already know how well that song works. I want Eric to sing. Perfectly content for where it's at in the set list currently. I said, you know what, it belongs in the set.
Sure.
And that's the last song, of course, of the main show. I think we have that in common. The first song for the encore, when they come back, is Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
That's good.
Coming back, just kind of the same
Coming back
mentality.
hard.
We're not going the Beth route. We're going the balls to the wall route. We're going. You thought we were done, and we're not.
I just got excited at balls to the wall. That's
We're gonna play the fastest song. Just sort of, that would be a crowd pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd that would be a memorable moment for just everyone in the crowd if they came back after the encore and played the fastest song that they have. Just the energy is crazy good on that song. Then I'm realizing that I'm pretty sure you didn't have this in your set list unless I heard incorrectly.
Okay.
But this needs to be in the Kiss.
Oh, did I
set
miss
list.
something? Here we go.
Unless I missed it from you.
I mean,
so the the second song in the encore is "I Was Made for Loving You."
Yeah, I left it out.
I cannot not have that in the set list.
Fair enough.
'Cause I absolutely love the way they
I
play
left it
live.
out. I wanted it out, but fair enough.
I respect that for you, but for me, that's a good encore one, because that's something that a lot of the casual fans might have forgotten about and realized, oh yes, this song, everyone knows this song, they have to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So after I Was Made for Loving You, no Rock and Roll All Night, the last song was Detroit Rock City, end in the show, full stop. No Rock and Roll All Night for me. Don't need it.
I mean, if you're gonna do it that way, that's the way to do it.
I
mean, if you're
it's
gonna
the
do
only
it,
substitute.
If
for
you're gonna,
Rock
I was
and
gonna say,
Roll
if
All
you're
Night.
gonna do it that way,
And they've done that once before.
what?
I don't. Somebody knows out there,
Okay.
but I'm fairly certain. I think some point in the '90s, they didn't play Rock and Roll All Night, and they ended the show.
Oh
Detroit Rock
no,
City.
no! You're right. Yeah, that was on
That happened.
the Revenge tour. Yes.
It was on the
Yes.
Revenge tour.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you meant they actually did not play Rock and Roll the whole show, and they played Rock City as the last song. I was like, oh wow.
No,
You are correct. On the Revenge
yeah,
tour,
it's happened before where they've had Detroit Rock City as the closer, and to me, that's like maybe the greatest Kiss song. Not my favorite. I think it might be the best Kiss song.
yes, yeah, I agree.
Across the board,
I
Detroit
agree.
Rock City, it's just the best.
Yes, if there's one song that's going to define Kiss, I mean,
It is Detroit Rock City.
It's that song. I agree.
And obviously, if I were to really suggest like a serious set list, Rock and Roll Night, it's kind of the default ending song. But for me, if it is truly my decision for what I want to see, it would be Detroit Rock City closing, and that's how I would have it.
Perfect. I like
And,
it.
and that's 20 songs matching your 20 songs.
I love it.
And we didn't really discuss this beforehand, but we just came with 20 songs.
Yeah, no.
So it worked
yeah.
out pretty perfectly.
Yeah, I went with 20 because that's what they played on the end of the road tour. So I thought, well, if it works there, it'll work here. And you said, well, 20 is nice and even, so might as
20
well.
is nice and
That
even.
worked out actually fairly well. I'm surprised. But so, okay, great. I'm glad we did that. And now let's just go back and kind of talk about maybe why we made these decisions. And I'll start with real quickly with Rock City, because I think the reason why I chose it to be my opener is probably the same reason why you made it your closer.
Yeah.
And I feel like that song works best either at the very, very beginning of the
Yeah.
set or the very, very end.
It's too good to do
It is a song that defines Kiss in a way,
Yeah.
and it's one of the most, instantly recognizable songs that Kiss has done.
Yeah.
And so opening a show, you're never going to go wrong with that. I mean,
True.
if Kiss, if you're going to bring the heat, then bring the heat, right?
Yeah.
But it also provides you an opportunity to, if you don't play it the entire show, it's going to be played.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Kiss is not going to just not play that song.
Of course.
So when are they going to play
When
it?
are they gonna play?
And they usually will play it. If it's not the opener, it'll be one of the ones in the encore. It'll probably be the first song of the encore. And it builds up that anticipation of like, when are they going to play it? You know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And finally, you get that satisfying moment.
Right.
And for you, that's coming at the very, very end.
Oh, yes.
The very last moment.
To me, it would be a very satisfying end to a good
And
show.
you know what? I actually agree with you. I like some of the liberties you took with your set list, whereas mine is very, very much, and yours is too, but I think mine is very much realistic, grounded in reality. They could take this set list and do it next week, and it would go off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Mostly, they're going to play these songs rather easily.
Sure.
But were there any comments that you wanted to talk about real quickly? We'll just go back and forth talking about our set list.
Well, I would start by saying that I also totally agree with Detroit Rock City as the opener. Like you said, it's either at the beginning or the very end. To me, it is a phenomenal opener. Works really well with the current set list. It's the end of the road tour.
The current show.
The current show, yeah. Like everyone in the audience does that song. If you're going to start off a Kiss show, I think that's better than Deuce, which Deuce works just energy wise.
You know what's funny is that both Deuce, I much prefer Detroit Rock City over Deuce as an opener because I feel like it carries much more energy. Now, how is that when they both start out with a guitar riff? They both open up with a guitar riff, then the drums come in.
Yeah,
but I don't know why, but for some reason, Detroit Rock City just seems to be the one that is, I think, a much
it's just
better
so
suited.
Iconic.
But you chose "I Stole Your Love."
I Stole Your Love, which is a bit of a bold move, but again, it's bold, but not so bold that it's unheard of because they have done it.
They play this on the Kiss Cruise.
They play it on the cruise. It's been an opener, Not
it has been an opener many times.
It's been an opener. It's so left field, but it would get that's one that just no one would see coming.
No,
and that you couldn't help but to get on your feet. Just that riff and the drums coming in, and the all right. Explosion. I feel like that would just be a killer Kiss opener. And it's classic 70s Kiss, so it's not objectionable in that way. Everyone's gonna love it,
right?
But very pleased to see we both shared a good handful,
which I
kind of expected.
I did too, but I wasn't sure which ones.
Yeah, I was like, "Come on and love me." That
Come on,
one.
Love Me. Mine was at the end. Yours at the beginning.
Yeah,
but
mine's hitting right at fresh. At the beginning.
Yep.
Both had Cold Gin.
Yes.
It's
a classic.
It's an essential classic.
It's a classic Kiss song,
and it works really well live. That's like the way Tommy plays live. Eric, they're on fire every time they play Cold Gin.
It works.
Both had Lick It Up.
Yeah, we both kept Lick It Up.
It's just a perfect live song. Both had She. Now that's an interesting one.
Yes.
I didn't really think that we would both have She on there, but it speaks to how killer of a song that is, and it's. When was the last time they played that? Did they do that on Rock the Nation?
They did play it on Rock the Nation.
Right.
It will be on the upcoming Off the Soundboard.
I'm very excited for that, yes.
The only time I can think of that they would have played it would have been on the Live 35 tour because it was on a live.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And they were celebrating, but I can't verify it because I usually just have flashes of Setlist in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the last time She was in the Setlist. I don't recall it being on that many Kiss Cruises.
Mm-hmm. Either
so
way,
it's a song that seems to just have gotten lost in the shuffle.
Right.
But if this were to come out on the cruise or the main set list, I think fans would be pleased.
Absolutely.
And these two fans especially.
Oh my gosh.
One song we both also had, I noticed, was Watching You.
Yeah.
That's one that we can also agree.
Oh my gosh.
That, again, it was on the Live 35 tour.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I think it's been on one of the more recent Kiss Cruises in the last couple of years, so we know it's a plausible song to play. We've both talked about the riff and the music of that song. There's a part, after the solo. Yeah, Eric, brings the heat, no matter what. Now, did you have Parasite on your list?
I didn't.
I noticed that.
I thought about it, but for me, it was almost like either Watching You or Parasite for some reason. Mm-hmm. Similar, timelines there, and it's one of those songs that, yes, I could easily pop in here, but I would have to exclude another one. So I could take it or leave it as long as, that's another top tier.
I'm assuming you would take out Heaven's on Fire?
Yeah,
Parasite?
Probably. Again, that's one that I kind of forgot I even put in there. But Parasite, it belongs in the set, but it would, it would just have to replace something else. But that was definitely a candidate.
That's pretty cool.
I do love it.
Awesome. So we both included Unholy, and I think you actually you did it right because I was talking about how I didn't want to break up Unholy for the drum solo.
Yeah.
And then it didn't make sense to come back out of the a 5-minute drum solo and make Unholy a 10-minute song.
Right.
But you, I think, did it correctly, where you had the drum solo go in between 100,000 Years.
Right, classic.
And then just had Unholy explicitly only for the sake of Gene spitting blood and flying, and having it just be one whole thing like that. And I think that was a smart decision.
I like the way that the way they do it live now is totally fine, but it just seemed a little weird to have a bass solo, blood spitting, a song, and then a drum solo, kind of all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't really affect me at all, but it just, when you're looking at it, I feel like it feels better to break it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree.
Did you not have 100,000 Years in yours?
I did not.
Did not? Okay. Well,
I did not, and I don't think there was any reason for me not to, other than I guess I just didn't have any room.
Yeah,
I just felt like
that.
a lot of the songs I went with were songs like Parasite, Creatures, Unholy, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, the ones that had a lot of heat on them, a lot of speed, a lot of good riffs, solos. The ones that I think, I don't know, I guess I've always had this thing where people say that Kiss isn't a band that should be taken seriously musically. And obviously the show is very much a huge part of it, Even us talking about, okay, well, what's the opener going to be? What's Gene going to breathe fire to? Know, those things matter. It is an experience and it is a show. Yeah. But you can't have a show without music. You can't have a band without playing music. And so the very foundation of Kiss is and will always be the music.
Yeah.
It is the music business, so you're going to have to add things to it. I mean, of course, Kiss is the kings of that. They've added the makeup and the fire and all that, but it really is all about the music. And so I just packed my set list with all the songs that I think showcase Kiss best musically.
Absolutely.
While still also trying to keep in mind that it is a show, it is a concert, and others will be watching it. But I mean, if you're even if you're not a diehard fan, even if you're just somebody who says, "Oh, Kiss, okay, I'll go see Kiss," or maybe you're going with somebody who wants to go see Kiss. I mean, you cannot help but get excited when you hear, that kind of music coming out of like songs like "Watching You."
It just seemed unexpected to people. Like, I feel like that people would really be surprised and really enjoy those songs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kiss, should be taken seriously musically, and I think that even if, I mean, I doubt that Kiss would obviously be as popular as they are without the gimmick, I guess, as you say. But then again, I mean, would The Undertaker be as popular without his gimmick? I mean, it's all about entertainment, but you have to be able to actually...
You got to deliver.
You have to deliver and be able to actually do what it is that you do. Kiss is not just a fashion show that the music kind of is just a soundtrack to. It's almost like the show and the experience is enhancing and accenting the music that you're hearing. So that's kind of the approach I took with my songs. Even though songs like Lick It Up and Cold Gin, are routinely, even Love Gun, in the set list.
Yeah, I didn't have Love Gun.
Those are songs that just go over so well live. No, and you didn't. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about next was songs that are usually in the set list that you intentionally or maybe unintentionally took out.
Yeah.
And there's
one
song,
for me.
I know this too. There's one song that I noticed that both of us did not include that I want to discuss, and that
I almost had two.
Okay. Well, this one is
Shout It Out Loud.
It's the one
there is another one for me that's just as I want to hear.
Me too. Oh,
Do You Love Me?
Oh, okay.
Did not want Do You Love Me. That was
you
one.
Did not
that
want
I
to hear
did
that song? Okay, for
Do
sure.
You Love Me and Shout It Out Loud were two that I thought about calling Dr. Love as well, and I decided to snub that one as well. But definitely Do You Love Me and Shout It Out Loud are two songs that, not that I don't enjoy them live, but there's something about them that it feels, I don't know. I feel like, Shout It Out Loud, I mean, I get why it's in the set list. It totally makes sense. It's a classic Kiss song. It's Destroyer.
It's a good party song. It's very upbeat.
Yes, but it's never been one of my favorite Kiss songs. I feel like that and Do You Love Me are almost too repetitive for me.
Okay.
And I'm just not in my dream set list.
I think that Shout Out Loud is a perfect Kiss song. I think through and through, it is a perfect Kiss song. Yeah. But I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and say, well, what are some of the songs that we can get away without? And even though that song is one that, it's got Gene and Paul going back on lead vocals. I talk about these chanting sections and these breakdowns in the song. There's the, shout, where it's just all a cappella / drums.
Yeah, that works.
on a show level, all of those songs work. But I wanted to see if I could get away without having that song in the set list, and I wanted to see if we could get away without "I Love It Loud." Because that is a song that I think a lot of fans will say has grown so stale over the years. Even though I disagree, I totally can sympathize with that perspective and can kind of see, yes, it has been in every single set list for a while. I mean, even back with the original lineup, that was one of the ones that they were kind of playing that wasn't Originals Kiss.
Right.
So it goes back at least 20 years consistently in the set list. But there's also, again, there's a reason why. It works on a show level as far as the band and fans all together. I
would imagine
fist pumping or cheering.
I would imagine Gene pushes for that song quite a bit.
I would imagine Gene does. I think Paul might not. I think Paul might not. I think Gene gets "I Love It Loud" if Paul gets "I Was Made for Loving You." Because I don't think the other one likes playing those songs. Can't verify that, but just an idea there. Yeah. But so we both got away without "I Love It Loud," "Shout It Out Loud,"
and "Do You
Love Me?" And there's really just a whole, I think, pocket of Kiss songs that Kiss will use to kind of interweave throughout the set list here and there. Yeah. Songs like "Cold Gin," "Do You Love Me?" Dr. Love, Firehouse, Christine 16.
Yeah.
Those are songs that just will come and go as they please, especially songs like Dr. Love and Christine 16. They're not going to be in every single show, every single set, but they're going to be the ones that if Kiss is going to put a classic song in there, that's where it's going to be.
We've heard Colin Dr. Love quite a bit. Yeah.
And so I thought, well, let's take a song like that, and instead of a Gene song like that, why not a Gene song like, I don't know, "Watching You"?
Yeah.
Because I
go left field with it.
Go left field with it. That's how I felt about it. But so was there any other songs that you felt like you wanted to keep out?
Looking at mine and also considering yours, it didn't seem like either one of us really had any ballads. I mean, "I Was Made for Loving You" is the closest that I got.
"Come On and Love Me" was the closest I got.
I was gonna, that's saying something, but there's no Beth, no Beth. "I Still Love You," not a little break for that. I mean, other than the intro to like Black Diamond, and this wasn't really on my mind until you just asked me that. I was like, I guess I really just didn't want any slower songs on the set list.
No, and I didn't, but here's the challenge. So, okay, let's add a fourth song to that bottom encore set list. We had 3, right? Do you have 3 as your final 3 after the Black Diamond? Yes. Okay, so let's say we're going to add a fourth one in there, and it has to be exclusively a ballad, a slow song. Which one do you choose?
Ooh, it's tough.
I'm going so far left field, it was a foul ball.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going so far left
field. It's a ballad? I mean, what first comes to mind is "Forever," because that's just not being played.
I haven't heard "Forever" since Kiss Cruise 1.
But I'm also trying to think, I don't know if I want to hear Paul sing it. I don't mean to say that in a negative way. I just... I'm not so sure. I mean, I really enjoyed. I'm struggling to think of all their ballads, but I'm thinking of when I think it was on the Freedom to Rock tour. They played an acoustic version of "Beth."
They did,
and I really enjoyed that. So right now I'm leaning towards that. Oh, nice. But because they did a beautiful version, but also "Beth" is not one of my favorites. So you say yours, and I'll keep thinking of mine because I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm going so left field. That's a foul ball.
Great Expectations. Is that what you're going with?
Hell no. Hell no. Mine is "Every Time I Look at You" from Revenge.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
I think it would be really cool if they sing and do "Every Time I Look at You." And then do "Unholy."
And
also from Revenge. It's two Revenge tracks. I don't care.
That would work well.
If you want some
getting two different. So I'm just gonna. I totally love that. I'm gonna go back to "Forever" just because, assuming Paul can pull it off and just sing it well enough. That is just a perfect song.
I think Paul could do it well if he stays.
He can make it work. Yeah, I'll say he can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, no one's asking Paul to just scream it, but I could totally see on a cruise or one of those VIP shows they do before the show, the acoustic show. Yeah. I can see them doing an acoustic version, a slower version of "Forever," and Paul nailing it, doing great.
I would just say "Forever" because it's their best it's their best ballad.
Yeah, yours is way more plausible, but again, it was my dream set list. I'm
sure.
choosing that one from Revenge because that was one that actually grew on me. As a kid, it bothered me having that one on Revenge because Revenge, such a heavy album. I felt like it just kind of broke it up.
Oh yeah, it
but,
works so well.
But I actually like that contrast now, and I think as far as like the quality of the song, it is on the same level as with other songs. Revenge has quality songs front to back.
A perfect album.
But any other comments that you want to talk about? We both had Marty Delilah from the current era. I also included Out of This World from the current era.
Yep.
Did you have any other current era songs besides Marty Delilah?
Wall of Sound was the only
Wall
other
of Sound, nice.
Which is just
nice.
I've been listening to Monster. Again, that was my Kiss spotlight. I've been listening to Monster quite a bit. And every time that song comes on, I'm like, it's just so good. It would work well.
Absolutely.
I'm probably gonna go and look up some live clips because you said they played it just for a little bit. I want to see if there's any footage I can find out there because it's just a great Gene song and it's a great upbeat live type song. And it's totally out of left field. People probably wouldn't know how to react, but that's kind of how I imagine people reacting to Say Yeah. So I'm like, if we're gonna go with one or the other, of the current lineup, it's just a great song. And it could have been Long Way Down, but I wanted a good Gene song. If I'm going modern day Delilah with Paul, I wanted to counter that with a Gene song, and that was a big part of this set list. And I'm gonna pose a question after this.
Okay.
But obviously this is our dream set list, but as we said, it has to make sense. It's not our top 20 favorite Kiss songs because that would never work.
No.
And an actual set list that they would play live. But the question I would pose to you is, what was the most challenging aspect of putting this together? Because I have one or two things that really, I tried not to overthink it, but there were two sort of stumbling blocks I had when I was working through this, trying to find a balance of Gene songs and Paul songs and trying to work with the stage antics and all that. So what was the most challenging aspect for you?
Yeah, I felt like it was actually pretty easy for me to get the show aspect of it down. I mean, obviously Rock City is my opener. War Machine, He Breathes Fire, God of Thunder, Gene Spits Blood, Paul Falls in Love Gun, Rock and Roll Night. That's exactly the way it already is and has been. I am the most basic, vanilla, boring Kiss fan in that regard. Although after this, I might actually put Psycho Circus back as the opener. Yeah. When they opened up the 4th anniversary tour with Psycho Circus, that was a moment for me where I was like, oh, this is what I want. This is so good.
I genuinely thought that's what you were going to choose.
And it should have been. Anyway.
What was the most challenging
the challenging aspect. Yes, it was pretty easy to get the show aspect of it. The challenge for me was balancing between Gene and Paul songs. I'm I guess a bigger Paul fan. I just love Paul Stanley. Yeah. And my top 5 favorite Kiss songs are not in any order, but Marty Delilah, Lick It Up, Psycho Circus, Heaven's on Fire, and Unholy.
Wow.
Only one of those
are Gene songs.
And so clear, and all of them made it except for Heaven's on Fire in this list. Yeah. But for me, it was balancing Gene and Paul because I wanted to throw in so many Paul songs.
That's exactly I
really did. And thinking about it from a show standpoint, you don't want to just murder Paul Stanley the whole time. No. You want to give him a break and let Gene sing. Right. So I think at one point I may have had songs like Creatures of the Night, Psycho Circus, Lick It Up, all back to back. It's like those are all Paul songs. Like let Paul breathe for a second, boy. Come on.
Exactly.
And so balancing it up a little bit and moving the songs around, making sure that Gene and Paul were having equal songs. I actually kind of left out Eric a little bit. I gave him his drum solo and I gave him Black Diamond.
Yeah, that's
bold. But I did take away his Beth, and I didn't give him any of the songs that he sang on Monster Sonic Boom. But for me, the hardest part was just trying to balance it out as far as Gene and Paul.
Yeah. That I would say that's probably the number one thing I struggled with as well. But the other thing was, when you first brought the idea of we're going to do a dream set list, the first thing that came to my mind was, I get to do 80s Kiss. I'm going to do 80s, not Unmasked era, not the album, but no makeup era Kiss.
Yeah.
And obviously that didn't really work, and so I almost tried extra hard to fit in more 80s Kiss songs, but it just was not possible outside of Lick It Up, Tears Are Falling, and Heaven's on Fire, all of which made it in. But apart from that, it just, maybe I could have done Crazy Nights, but I wanted to, in my head, I thought I would go way out there and choose something different from Animalize or Asylum.
Yeah.
And looking at those songs, I'm like, you know what? It just, No, it can't happen. It
how
doesn't
would it work? Yeah,
it doesn't work. I mean, Tears Are Falling is as good as it's
Yeah.
really gonna get.
Yeah.
From that era.
To expect Kiss to come out and play Under the Gun.
Yeah, young and wasted. I'm
Not even in your dreams, right?
Yeah, not even in your dreams.
Not even in your dreams is that going to happen.
So, that was something for me that, kind of made me realize, well, it's a lot harder than you think trying to make sense of it. And, you see tons of people online saying, well, here's my dream set list.
And they should play this, and you're thinking...
And it's the most crazy stuff they've never played, they never would play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's really the challenging part. And that's why both of us had so many, quite a few songs that have been staples in their set lists. It's because they just work. They're tried and true. Trying to go for those really, deep cuts, it just doesn't work apart from the cruise. And again, that's where I really went the furthest with the opening song was I Stole Your Love. Like, that is, if you're gonna do something like that, like way out of left field, to me, that's how you would do it and still pull it off. Not something from Asylum that's not King of the Mountain or anything like that,
right?
Which I wanted to do, and that's it's separate again from my favorite Kiss songs.
And I think it's cool that you and I did take it that way, where it was like we did ground it in reality and thought, well, if this is a dream set, I'm really going to go see my dream Kiss show. It has to make sense with the show.
Lineup.
And because you said 80s Kiss, one song that I wanted to include, and I guess I could because they did play it, is All Night. I actually like that song, even though it is a very tongue-in-cheek, silly song. I enjoy it, and it ranks very high on my favorite Kiss song list. And to see them play it on the Kiss Cruise was absolutely insane, because for them to even attempt it, it's like, again, not even in your dreams.
Yeah.
But so I could have included that on the set list, considering that they did play it, but I just felt like I didn't want to. But now that we're going, of course, now that we've gone through these set lists, I'm thinking of all the things I want to do differently.
Yeah.
And two songs that I would like to actually add in, or could add in, are All the Way and Mainline from Hotter Than Hell.
Both from Hotter Than Hell.
If I wanted to give Eric Singer a song to sing, let's give him Mainline, because he nails that song.
Yes.
Peter nailed it, Eric nails it. It's a great song. I know that both those songs, All the Way and Mainline, are very simplistic, songs that on Hotter Than Hell.
It is a great song.
It is a great song, and I thought maybe those two would work well in the set list to do as well.
I just thought of something that since we were talking about 80 songs that would work and don't work and going kind of left field, I just remembered one that they played not so long ago that may, if I had to redo it, might work its way in.
Okay,
that's Hide Your Heart.
Hide Your Heart.
That was a left field moment.
That was a
what
left
year
field.
Was that?
They played Hide Your Heart on the 4th anniversary tour.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was in a few sets on this In the Road tour.
Whoa.
I'm going to go verify that right now.
I didn't know that, if that's true. They played it on the In the Road tour.
I'm pretty sure. January, let me look up January 31st, 2019, Vancouver. That was when I think the In the Road tour opened up. Yes, it did. Yeah, they played it on the In the Road tour.
That one to me is one, kind of like Crazy Nights, where you just, came out of left field and just blew your mind once you heard it live. I was like, I just cannot believe I'm seeing this song live from Hot in the Shade.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a crazy one.
Couldn't
Kiss has done really well over the last decade, bringing out 80s songs, sprinkling them in throughout the set list.
Tears Are Falling, and that's one they just sprung up on you.
And there are, I do want to in the future do more episodes about the set list, because number one, I love looking at the songs they play, they don't play, and why. But I also think that there's a rhyme and a reason to the set list that most fans don't even take into consideration. Where it's like, you can't just throw any old song in the set list that you think would work. It has to work on a show level, and there has to be a rhyme and a reason, where it has to be an ebb and flow to the set list. And so perhaps in the future we'll go back and do more, or in the future we'll do more episodes talking about the set list and different aspects of the set list. But it's been really fun just talking about our dream set list. Hopefully everybody, as they're listening, hopefully they're going, oh my gosh, these guys chose the lamest, most, the safest set list ever.
Well, and that's where I want the people viewing
please
to please comment yours, because that is really what generates the discussion. So maybe if anyone wants to share their songs that they would include or their set list next episode, we'll read them. Well, because that would generate even a totally separate. Because maybe there's another song that would blow my mind. It's like, why wouldn't that be on my set list?
I guarantee there'll be more episodes in the future where we talk about Kiss set lists. I want everybody out there to be thinking about your dream set list. Drop it in the comments. Now, I understand if you don't want to sit there and think of 20 songs.
Yeah, but if you do, that's cool.
And try and make, if you do, do it, because we'll read them on the next episode.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to, that's fine. Maybe just give us a song or two that you think should be in the set list that is not in the set list. I think She should be in the set list. It's not. He thinks Starter should be. It's not. You know, what Kiss song do you think should be in the set list or should be attempted live and put in live on the Dream Tour, as it were? That is not being played live. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. We'll read them on the next episode. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have episodes coming out every 2 weeks. We have some other videos on the channel that's not the podcast, but other cool Kiss content. Check that out. Follow us on Instagram. That's where we're posting regularly. Memes, merch, and more. So be sure to follow us there. Anything you want to follow up with as we close up here?
No, other than good topic of discussion. I hope it was as interesting to
so
you guys as it is for us.
This was better than I thought it was going to be, and it opened up some pretty cool stuff. So we'll definitely check back with everybody next time for episode 20 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. We will be
the big 20
here pretty soon. I'm not sure what the next topic will be, but I know that here soon we should be doing our Off the Soundboard. It should be coming out. We'll be reviewing that. I cannot wait to get my hands on that and listen to the soundboard from Virginia Beach. Hearing that set list, that's the driving point for there. There's a set list on that.
We'll be doing a full review.
We did
the first one, so stay tuned.
We will be guests on the Kiss Army Nation podcast with Pasquale and Claudio coming up. So be sure to follow Kiss Army Nation there's a Facebook group. They're on YouTube. They're also on Instagram. So check them all out.
Excellent Kiss.
We're all Kiss fans. We're all having fun celebrating the band, talking about why we love Kiss. Just keeping it going.
Absolutely,
it's a lot of fun.
That's what we do. Keeping it back with the money bag. Every week. Come on, sponsor us. What are you waiting for? They're not watching this because we're over an hour into this, but
we're watching you.
There you go. So join us next time for episode 20 of the Kiss Army Things podcast.
Episode 20 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Who are you?
I'm Jeb.
I'm Xander.
There you go.